Japan. Among the happiest moments of Rizal in his life was his journey in the land of the cherry blossom, or what we call sometimes the land of the rising sun. He stayed in Japan for 1 month and a half from February 28 to April 13, 1888. He was charmed by the natural beauty of Japan, the manners of the Japanese people, and the picturesque of shrines. He also fell in love with a Japanese girl whose loveliness infused joy and romantic in his sorrowing heart. On the morning of Tuesday, month of February 28 in the year of 1888, Rizal arrived at Yokohama and he stayed in the Grand Hotel. On the following day, he moved to Tokyo and took a room at the Tokyo Hotel where he stayed from March 2 to March 7. He was impressed by the city of Tokyo. After his arrival in Tokyo, Rizal was visited by Juan Perez Caballero. He is the secretary of Spanish legation. The latter invited him to live at the Spanish legation. Rizal knew that this was the Spanish government's way of monitoring Rizal, but he accepted it anyway. During the stay of Rizal in Tokyo, he could not speak fluently and he can't really understand Japanese language or the Nihongo. He had a hard time for shopping, for he could not be understood, and the children laughed, or the people around him laughed at him with his situation. So, with his situation, Rizal decided to study the Japanese language. He was able to speak within a few days because we all know that Rizal has a good memory and he is good at study. And if he has the will, he will learn it very fast. He also studied the Japanese drama, arts, music, and judo. He also visited museums, libraries, art galleries, and shrines. During one time, Rizal went to the park and heard the Tokyo band playing a classical work of Strauss. He was impressed by the great performances of the Western music. He thought to himself how admirable their renditions are, and wondered how they have assimilated the modern European music to the extent of playing the beautiful masterpieces of their European composers so well. The band stopped playing, and to his surprise, they were speaking Tagalog. He approached them and conversed with them. The musicians were delighted and also surprised to meet him. Rizal was greatly impressed by Japan, among of which are the natural beauty of the country, the cleanliness and politeness of the people, the picturesque dress and simple charm of the Japanese women, because we all know that Rizal loves women. There were few thieves in Japan, and beggars were rarely seen in the city streets. Rizal met a pretty Japanese girl. Her name was Seiko Usui. Rizal fell in love with Seiko. He affectionately called her Osei-san. Both found happiness in each other's company. Affinity of interests in the arts paved the way of their romance. Rizal saw in lovely Osei-san the qualities of his ideal womanhood: beauty, charm, modesty, and intelligence. Osei-san's beauty and affection almost tempted Rizal to settle down in Japan. At the same time, he was offered a good job by the Spanish legation. Back then, his love for the fatherland and his mission to free his oppressed people made him think again. Rizal's great love for Seiko Usui and Japan will be memories that he will always cherish. But it was his time to go. So on April 13, 1888, Rizal boarded the Belgic and English steamer at Yokohama, bound for the United States. He left Japan with a heavy heart, for he knew that he will never see this beautiful land again. So as his beloved Osei-san. His sojourn in Japan for 45 days was one of the happiest interludes of his life.